Tonight on CTV News at 6, better snow clearing for a price. City Council considers spending more to improve winter travel.
Whether they want to pay more or see another service that is a lower priority be redistributed to somewhere else, that I think is part of what needs to happen throughout 2026.
An Edmonton man's crucial heart surgery canceled again.
Something needs to change. I mean, they keep promising change, but we never see any.
And so long, after 70 years, Cliff's Towing permanently parks its trucks.
Temperatures really started to warm up through the day today and will be above zero in the coming days.
CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Jeff Hastings.
Good evening. Improvements may be coming to snow clearing in Edmonton. The city has faced criticism throughout this exceptionally snowy winter, and the mayor says changes are needed. The questions are how much more we're willing to pay and where the money will come from. CTV's Connor Hogg is at Edmonton City Hall, where two motions from two councillors are on the docket. Connor, what's the mood like regarding snow removal at City Hall?
Jeff, Mayor Andrew Knack says it's clear from the public's response to this year's snow removal efforts that people aren't happy. Councillors Aaron Paquette and John Morgan both have motions related to snow clearing on the schedule. Paquette says removing windrows from every neighborhood in the city would amount to a 2% tax implication. Mayor Knack says he wants to hear from Edmontonians about how much they want to spend and what they're willing to forego to make it happen.
Whether they want to pay more or see another service that is a lower priority be redistributed to somewhere else, that I think is part of what needs to happen throughout 2026.
Do you want it on your tax rate? Do you want us to increase costs of service deliveries, so for example rec center fees and things like that, or do you want to take it from another area of service delivery like from parks or potholes?
Council did not get to either motion today. They have adjourned for the day without covering any of the 7 motions from city councillors. Knack says he wants to hear from Edmontonians. He'll be attending consultations in each ward with each councillor later this summer. He wants opinions on whether the city should budget for an above-average snowfall each year, as well as the potential return of calcium chloride to melt ice on the streets. Both Paquette's and Morgan's motions remain on the schedule. Jeff?
All right, Connor, thank you. That's Connor Hogg at City Hall tonight. The man killed in a crash on the Henday yesterday was a security screener at Edmonton International Airport. The Canadian Airport Workers Union says Ahmed Ali had worked at the Edmonton International Airport since 2023. They say he was respected for his kindness, professionalism, and will be remembered for his compassion. The union has started a GoFundMe to support Ali's family. Ali's car broke down on a Henday yesterday morning. Police say it was struck from behind by a pickup truck. The 27-year-old died at the scene. 3 teens and a 12-year-old are facing charges in connection to a fire at a school and vandalism at a church. Police say last October, fires were set on the sidewalk, dumpster, and areas of the field at St. Elizabeth Seton School. It caused about $1,000 in damage. The next day, police say someone smashed windows and spray painted St. Clair Catholic Church. The church was hit by vandals again 2 days later. Police say there was almost $200,000 in damage to the building. 3 teenage boys are now facing a number of charges, including arson. A 12-year-old boy is facing a mischief charge in connection to the second church. A second-degree murder trial for the deaths of 2 workers in Chinatown got back on track today. Justin Bone fired his lawyer yesterday. He was then yelling so loudly in courthouse holding cells it disrupted a trial in a different courtroom. Today, the defense told the court they'd worked out any differences. Bone told the court he has the right to a fair trial and it was unfair he was removed. He also said reports he told the sheriffs he wanted to fight were untrue. The trial resumed with 1 witness, an Edmonton police officer who was there when Bone was arrested and who processed him at the cells at the police station. One of the men convicted of mischief and firearms violations at the Coots border protest is being released from prison. Anthony Olenek was sentenced in 2024 alongside Chris Carbert for their roles in the protest to block traffic at the Canada-US border crossing in 2022. RCMP found them in possession of guns, ammunition, and body armor stashed inside trailers. They were each sentenced to 6.5 years. Olenik's lawyer told the Canadian press his conviction appeal has been argued and is on reserve, and he's released until the sentencing hearing is decided. Olenik has been in jail since he was arrested in February of 2022. Carbert was freed on bail pending the results of his appeal last June. A local man is fed up after his heart surgery was cancelled twice in as many months. The most recent cancellation happened after he had already been admitted to hospital, prepped for surgery, and was waiting in a hospital gown. As Nicole Weisberg reports, the man was told it was because of staff shortages.
You mentally prepare, you get yourself used to the idea that you're going to go in there, they're going to be doing this invasive procedure on you, and then all of a sudden, oh, we're just kidding, sorry.
It's something Kim Pearson has had to go through twice now. He has a growing aortic aneurysm and was told in November he needed open heart surgery. It was scheduled for December 4th.
They called me on December 3rd. This I thought was going to be the arrival time for the next day. They actually postponed the surgery due to lack of beds.
Something he was warned could happen. A November email from a hospital administrator states postponements have unfortunately become more frequent, explaining emergencies and transplants can change the schedule. As well, it said the hospital has been dealing with a shortage of heart and lung machine operators. Earlier this month, Pearson was told his surgery had been rescheduled for last week. He again began to prepare.
So there's 3 gentlemen at work that are covering my position while I'm away and recovering. My wife has to arrange for time off.
He says he was admitted to the hospital Wednesday, went through surgery prep, and was waiting in a gown when the surgical coordinator came in and told him due to a lack of staffing, the surgery had to be called off.
At first I thought it was a feeble attempt at humor. I thought they were just kidding, and then I realized that they were serious. And I was irate, actually. I had to bite my tongue walking out of there.
Pearson is sharing his experience to urge the government to step up.
Something needs to change. I mean, they keep promising change, but we never see any.
The Ministry of Hospital and Surgical Health Services says it cannot comment on individual cases, but it utilizes all other options before procedures are postponed. It says, as of Monday, a total of 9 non-emergent surgeries had been rescheduled across Alberta due to capacity pressures. Acute Care Alberta says from time to time, surgeries may need to be postponed due to unexpected gaps in clinical resources, including sudden illness. Both the ministry and health agency acknowledged the inconvenience.
You're shoveling snow and you're doing all the physical activity, and you never know what's going to cause this thing to rupture.
Pearson's surgery has been rebooked again in 2 weeks' time.
Hopefully the third time's a charm.
Nicole Weisberg, CTV News, Edmonton.
A popular greenhouse in Sherwood Park says its prices will likely rise when the cost of its water goes up. That's because the county has decided to close its water filling station in the middle of town. CTV's Evan Kenny reports on the trickle-down effect.
It takes a lot of love and a lot of water to keep these plants healthy.
We'll often have 10 hoses going all day to keep the crops watered.
Salisbury Greenhouse says that's why the price of its plants will have to go up when Strathcona County closes the Sherwood Drive water fill station.
Every business, when their cost goes up, they got 2 choices. They can absorb it or they can pass it on. So I don't know how we would look at that.
Once this site closes, the nearest commercial fill station for water delivery companies will be 15 minutes east in Ardrossan, and those businesses will have to charge more for the added distance.
We're going to have to pass on the extra wear and tear, the extra time, the extra employees that we're going to probably have to hire for this, extra equipment. All that's going to have to get passed on to somebody.
On top of the travel cost, water will cost 45 cents more per cubic meter.
In terms of rates with that, we're probably looking at a 60% rate increase across the board for the transportation side of things.
The county says it was a better use of money to build a new station for residential use south of Sherwood Park and to upgrade the Ardrossan site.
The decision we made is $11.5 million versus $4 million in capital costs. So going to Ardrossan reduced the overall cost by $7.5 million.
Great for some homeowners, but not so great for those trying to grow a garden or sell their seeds.
This is going to be $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 increase in our costs.
The changes are expected to take place in 2029. Evan Kenny, CTV News, Sherwood Park.
An Edmonton tow company is closing after more than 7 decades in business. Cliffs Towing announced its closure online this week, thanking customers for 70 years of support. The notice says anyone with an impounded vehicle should call or visit their South Edmonton yard. Impound fees will still apply. CTV News has reached out to the company for more information and has not heard back. Cliffs Towing is owned by Tap Connect, an Edmonton transportation company which also oversees Greater Edmonton Taxi Service, Prestige Limousine, and J&P Auto. Edmonton Oilers made NHL history twice in last night's game.
6-5 overtime win here Saturday night.
That was defenseman Mattias Ekholm's first hat trick of his 14-year career. It capped off a 7-4 win over the Anaheim Ducks. The Oilers are the first team to have a defenseman score a hat trick in consecutive games. Saturday, Evan Bouchard scored a hat trick against the Washington Capitals. The Oilers also broke the record for the fastest 4 goals scored by defensemen. Ekholm, Darnell Nurse, and Spencer Stastny did it in a time of 3 minutes, 49 seconds. In attendance at last night's game was one Oilers superfan celebrating a milestone. Trevor Wheel, known to fans as McMullet, attended his 200th straight Oilers game at Rogers Place. What makes that even more impressive is he lives in southern Alberta. Narman Issa has his story.
Nurse right in for a shot.
When the Oilers score, there's a good chance you'll see this superfan cheering on the broadcast. Trevor Wheel is a staple at Rogers Place.
Tonight is my 200th consecutive Oilers game in Rogers Place.
Wheel, known as McMullet, has seen every Oilers home game since the beginning of the 2022 playoffs. That includes every preseason, regular, and postseason game.
I love Oilers hockey. I love watching hockey, so that's a big thing.
McMullet's commute to Rogers Place is a little longer than most. Instead of minutes, it takes hours. The Calhoun native now lives in Strathmore, about 30 minutes east of Calgary. Every game day, he drives up the QE2 to downtown Edmonton. After the game, he's back on the road heading home.
There were 2 nights coming home after games that it took me 8 hours to get home. Because of the snowstorms and the Highway 2 was closed. I listened to a lot of different hockey podcasts.
The Oilers celebrated McMullet's milestone with a pregame interview and a gift.
They presented me with an Oilers puck that they marked up like they would for one of the players. And they marked it up 200th consecutive game and put the date on it.
He always brings so much energy, and he's such a diehard fan. It's a really great reminder of what this team means to fans in our community throughout all country and obviously throughout Alberta.
Wheel says becoming a super fan has been surreal.
To have people come up and want to get a picture with me and chat, and I've been asked for my autograph, and it's like I'm just somebody that loves Oilers hockey just like the rest of you guys, right? But it's still it's pretty cool.
Attributing his love for the team and its fans and helping drive the streak. Narman Issa, CTV News, Edmonton.
Neo and Akon will be performing at Rogers Place. Edmonton is one of 57 cities the pair is performing in for their Nights Like This tour. Tickets for the June 19th show go on sale Friday. It's a show sure to be a nostalgia rush for longtime fans that'll include slow jams and club anthems. Both Grammy winners are known for hits like Miss Independent, Smack That, and Lonely. Hi, Josh.
I was wondering what Akon was doing lately.
Were you?
Man, I think about that at least once a month.
I was wondering how warm it got today, because man, was it nice out.
All right, fine. 0 for a daytime high. Warmest day since last Tuesday. The cold spell wasn't really that long. Temperatures were right around average early this morning. -12 to start the day, -14 the average low. That high of 0, though, this afternoon, 5 degrees warmer than average. We have cooled pretty quickly since hitting 0 at 3 o'clock this afternoon. We're now at -6 in downtown Edmonton, in the -5 to -9 range for areas outside the city. Wind pretty light, though, across the region. Should be fairly light tomorrow as well. That's what it looks like outside right now with the CTV drone. City all lit up, and the snow that's on the ground is going to melt in a big way here over the next couple of days as temperatures slightly below zero for a high tomorrow, but by the weekend, we're a handful of degrees above the freezing mark. You've got some fresh snow falling in parts of northwestern Alberta right now. There's the cloud cover that rolled in a few hours ago after some sunshine this afternoon. Those clouds stick with us here in Edmonton. I don't think we'll see anything in the way of snowfall tomorrow, though certainly nothing significant. About -10 or -11 late tonight, and then temperatures starting to climb after midnight. So we'll wake up to temperatures in the -7, -8 range and get to about -1 or -2 for a daytime high tomorrow. So just slightly cooler than today. Above zero by a degree or two, though, for Thursday, Friday, and then the big warm up on the weekend and next week. We'll show you that with the 10-day forecast later in the newscast.
Sounds good. Thank you, Josh. Coming up on CTV News at 6, shots fired at a Calgary home.
We moved here thinking like it would be a nice community and stuff, right? So when I would hear something like that, I would just like, I couldn't believe it.
Calgary police say recent shootings are linked to an alleged extortion plot targeting South Asians, and
it's not unheard of, but it sure is uncommon.
Alberta's 3 chief justices made the rare move to publish an open letter today.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
A Calgary family is shaken tonight after gunfire ripped through their northeast home over the weekend. Police say the attack was targeted. It's now believed to be part of a wider extortion scheme occurring across the city, similar to what we've seen here in Edmonton. CTV's Mark Villani reports.
In just a split second, this masked suspect fires 7 shots into a northeast Calgary home. Surveillance footage from the homeowner shows a second person walking close behind as it all unfolds. Those living nearby were shocked.
We moved here thinking like it would be a nice community and stuff, right? So when I would hear something like that, I would just like, I couldn't believe it.
But the incident was even more concerning for Veer Devinder, who owns and lives in this Redstone property. He says him and his family are terrified. Extortionists asked him for $500,000, threatening that they'd shoot his home or kill him if he didn't pay up. His family left the house after that, and through a translator, he says they're thankful they weren't home when the shooting happened. It all started on January 6th. He says, I got about 10 phone calls for a couple of weeks before my house was shot up over the weekend. I reported it to police, but I didn't feel like they entertained my concerns. Devinder was once a famous Punjabi singer back in India, but he says his singing days are over and he doesn't understand why he was targeted. The caller contacted him through WhatsApp from a European phone number, but he doesn't know who that person could be. I have no bad relationships or any history of bad behavior. He says, by no means am I overly wealthy, and now I'm just a small business owner trying to support my family. This attack occurred days after a Taradale home was targeted twice. In both cases, no one was hurt, but police say these incidents are linked to a larger extortion investigation. Since 2025, police say 13 extortion incidents occurred around Calgary, 11 of which involved shootings, with many victims coming from the South Asian community.
We do feel that the offenders have some linkages to the community. It is making them aware of who to target.
Some callers are also mentioning their affiliation with the Lawrence Bishnoi gang from India, now labeled a terrorist entity by the Canadian government.
We recognize when they call that sometimes they use the name of the Lawrence Bishnoi gang as a way to fearmonger what's going on.
I'm still scared, he says, but I just want to appeal to the people who are doing this, please, to stop.
Tim Brooke, CTV News, Calgary.
Alberta's chief justices are stressing the importance of independence of the courts in a rare open letter. It comes after a series of public comments from Premier Danielle Smith aimed at judges and the judiciary. CTV's Stephanie Thomas reports.
The statement by the Chief Justices of Alberta Courts posted online Tuesday explains the basics often taught in social studies or law courses, but the letter itself stands out.
It's not unheard of, but it sure is uncommon.
The letter addresses Albertans as proud Albertans. It says the executive branch makes policy, the legislative branch makes laws, and the judicial branch interprets them. And they all must work independently as per the Constitution. Premier Danielle Smith has made a series of comments criticizing judges, most recently on her weekly call-in radio show, when she said she wished she could direct judges regarding bail reform and wants provinces to help Ottawa appoint 2 levels of judges.
I wish I could direct the judges, honestly, Chris. The judges get very, very prickly when you criticize them, but boy.
And in November, she said,
democracy is when the elected officials make decisions. Democracy is not when unelected judges unilaterally make decisions.
Justice studies professors say elected officials should not direct the courts.
Politics change. The legal doctrine shouldn't change in terms of judicial decisions and things like that.
The notion of appointment in this is conflating American rhetoric and American messaging to the Canadian reality. It's not just apples and oranges. We're comparing grapes to watermelons.
A spokesperson for the justices say their letter was not in reaction to the premier. Still, Alberta's NDP justice critic says the UCP government actions, including Bill 14, put the justices on the defensive.
Premier lectures everyone to stay in their lane, but she is incapable of picking her own lane and staying in that.
CTV News asked Premier Danielle Smith for comment. Instead, in a statement, her press secretary told us recent court rulings had led to questions being raised about the courts, and her office respects the role of each branch of government and their independence. Stephanie Thomas, CTV News, Calgary.
Still to come, scoring a special visit. Connor McDavid's presents a prize for a cause close to the team.
Driving is very complicated. You might not think about it that way, but it involves a lot of different systems in our body.
And what your driving may say about your brain.
It'll be a warm end to the month of January and a warm start to the month of February. One more day with temperatures below zero tomorrow, and then the freeze-thaw cycle kicks in once again.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Oilers captain Connor McDavid made a special visit to an Edmonton school this afternoon. Allendale School won a draw through the Ben Stelter Foundation. This year, 50 schools in the Edmonton area raised money for the charity to help cancer patients. The charity honors 6-year-old Oilers superfan Ben Stelter, who died from brain cancer in 2022. Every school that participated had a chance to win a Q&A with McDavid, with their odds increasing the more money they raised.
You know, kids helping kids, it's a special thing. You know, and what's the one thing I hope that they take away? I just hope it's the power of community, you know, and what you know, together we can all do for each other to help one another. You know, and I think that Ben would be proud of that.
This year, the schools raised $285,000. This fundraiser has raised more than $400,000 since it started in 2023. And the big warm-up has started. A little more cool weather to go.
Yeah, -9 yesterday, today up to 0 for a daytime high, and we should be above 0 for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and all of next week. It's -6 right now as you look through the River Valley Sky Cam. It's brought to you by Action Furnace. Fixed right or it's free. Had some sunshine earlier in the day today. Clouds increased through the afternoon. We're under mostly cloudy skies right now. That'll be the case for the rest of tonight. Still some chilly temperatures here in east central and northeastern Alberta. -17, Fort McMurray, -13, -14, Lloydminster, Cold Lake. There's actually, for one last night, I think, a cold warning in effect for areas north of Fort McMurray. -9 in Grand Prairie. Red Deer hit -2 for a daytime high, and 0, as we mentioned earlier, here in Edmonton. There's your cloud cover sliding in. Little bit of light flurry activity there, starting to push across the BC border. Some of that will slide through the Grand Prairie, Peace River regions before tonight is done. This will start to get going in the high-level area, though, through tomorrow morning, and then gradually make its way off to the east as we head through the late afternoon, early evening hours. We'll show you that in a moment. I do want to point out, you see these little splotches here tomorrow morning, midday tomorrow along Highway 43. You got a little bit of, in that pink zone or the green, that's potentially some wet precipitation as opposed to flurries. So there might be a little bit of a rain-snow mix, and depending on the timing, there may even be some really isolated pockets here of a little bit of freezing rain. So keep that in mind. If you have travel plans to put you here on highways northwest of the Edmonton area, sort of midday or through the morning hours tomorrow, just check on weather conditions and highway conditions through the morning hours, or watch CTV or watch Your Morning tomorrow, and Corey will have the latest for you in the morning hours. Midday, yeah, maybe a handful of snowflakes in the Edmonton area. Doesn't look like anything significant. You notice this is not a big system going through. This will start to get a little more organized in the evening hours in east central and northeastern Alberta, Vegreville, Lloydminster areas, and north. You get a chance of some evening flurries or some light snow. There might actually be maybe 1 to 3 centimeters of snow in parts of northeastern Alberta by the time that's done with. Arctic air moving off to the east. There's your warmer air sliding in from the west. It will gradually make its way further and further east. And by Saturday, you can see it takes over pretty much the entire province, with the exception of the extreme north. So almost everybody by Saturday should be back above zero. Here at Edmonton, a degree or two cooler than we saw today, -1 or -2 for a daytime high, but we're above zero by Thursday, Friday. That's a little earlier than we were thinking. We thought Friday was probably going to be the first day. Now it looks like Thursday will be the first day back above zero. 5 on Saturday. Maybe a couple of degrees cooler there Sunday, but still way above average and above zero. And then look at these daytime highs for next week, right through the first week of February. We should see highs somewhere in the 3 to 8 degree range. As for current temperatures, we're at -6 in Edmonton right now, -7 in Red Deer, -9 in Grand Prairie, and still stuck at -17 in Fort McMurray. We'll drop to about -10 or -11 later on this evening. And then with light wind and some sunny breaks in the afternoon, -2 tomorrow afternoon, 1 and 2 for highs Thursday, Friday, and 2 to 5 degrees above zero Saturday, Sunday.
Thank you, Josh. The way older adults navigate on the roads could hold the key to detecting Alzheimer's disease years before clinical symptoms appear. CTV's Jacqueline Wilson has more on new research from the University of Calgary.
I've always enjoyed driving.
About 10 years ago, 67-year-old John McCaffrey was diagnosed with mild cognitive impairment and frontotemporal dementia. He still drives and wants to keep doing so safely.
I go out walking in parks every day, and so I go driving to the park, and it enables me to also contribute to the household.
For 8 weeks, McCaffrey had a sensor attached to his windshield, gathering data for a University of Calgary research team, which is analyzing driving patterns to predict early dementia and Alzheimer's.
For me, an assessment of my driving skills was the most important thing.
Zaya Bayat is a research co-author. Her team at UCalgary's Health City Lab worked with the University of Washington to analyze the driving patterns of over 100 people aged 65 to 85. They developed a new route complexity metric. It tracks a digital fingerprint of how we navigate behind the wheel.
Driving is very complicated. You might not think about it that way, but it involves a lot of different systems in our body. So it involves function, it involves memory, it involves decision making and planning. So we thought looking at driving as a real-world behavior can give us a window into brain health.
The study found drivers with early-stage Alzheimer's often shift to simpler, more direct routes.
We found that people at very early stages of Alzheimer's disease, so these are people who don't have clinical symptoms of Alzheimer's disease yet, show that they prefer to take routes that are less complex as they age, and we didn't see that in people who didn't have signs of Alzheimer's disease.
Researchers hope this data will eventually complement clinical tests, allowing for earlier interventions and treatments. Jacqueline Wilson, CTV News, Calgary.
Coming up, Mark Carney meant what he said.
I explained to him what we're doing, 12 new deals on 4 continents in 6 months. He was impressed.
The Prime Minister refutes reports he walked back his attention-grabbing speech in Davos while speaking with Donald Trump. Mark Carney is holding firm to his highly regarded speech to the World Economic Forum in Davos. That's despite claims by a Donald Trump insider who says the Prime Minister walked back some of his remarks in a phone call with the U.S. President. CTV's Michael Couture reports on the war of words between the two leaders.
I meant what I said in Davos.
Prime Minister Mark Carney stood by his speech during a phone call with U.S. President Donald Trump. The 30-minute conversation covered Arctic security, Venezuela, and Canada's agreement with China.
I explained to him what we're doing, 12 new deals on 4 continents in 6 months. He was impressed. And that what we intend to do going forward, as well as the opportunity to, of course, move forward on CUSMA.
Let's talk about the Prime Minister, or if you prefer, Governor of Canada.
12 hours earlier, the U.S. Treasury Secretary says he was on that call and characterized the conversation differently.
He spoke to Prime Minister Carney, who was very aggressively walking back some of the unfortunate remarks he made at Davos.
Asked specifically about that.
So you didn't walk back your comments?
No.
But there was no public readout of the conversation between Trump and Carney, something the Conservatives are criticizing. Michael Chong wrote on social media, "It is unacceptable that Canadians and journalists learned of this recent call from American media." Besson's comments come days after Trump threatened to impose 100% tariffs on Canada if the government signs a free trade agreement with China, something Carney says he's not pursuing. Political analysts believe the current strategy is to keep calm.
Trump is going to make noise. He's going to flash. He's going to swear. He's going to stamp his feet. Just take a breath, take a moment. Chances are the storm will pass, and it has.
The Prime Minister says he reiterated in his conversation with the President that Canada is responding to the change in U.S. trade policy by building new partnerships abroad, including with China. And Carney says Trump understood that. Mike Lecouteur, CTV News, Ottawa.
Canadians gathered today to mark International Holocaust Remembrance Day, honoring the millions of lives lost under the Nazi regime as anti-Semitic incidents continue to rise in our country. CTV's Caitlin Wilson reports.
While I'm depressed when I come here because of what it speaks to, I'm also grateful that we have it in Canada finally.
For Flora Love Katz, this place brings mixed emotions. Her mother is a Holocaust survivor, and hundreds of her relatives were killed by the Nazis.
She will be 99 in October. She's a remarkable woman. She survived unspeakable atrocities as a small child.
We see this
against a backdrop of falling snow and freezing temperatures, survivors, politicians, and community leaders gathered at the National Holocaust Monument to remember and reflect. Tuesday, marking International Holocaust Remembrance Day, the 81st anniversary of the liberation of Auschwitz-Birkenau, honoring the 6 million people killed.
We must stand up for the right of Jews to live safely, peacefully, and openly with the Star of David on their chest.
The ceremony comes amid a rise in anti-Semitism following the start of the Israel-Hamas war. According to Jewish organizations, more than 6,200 anti-Semitic incidents were reported nationwide in 2024, about 17 a day. Last year, a Jewish woman in her 70s was stabbed in an Ottawa grocery store, and the National Monument was defaced with red paint.
Today we remember the consequences of ignorance, of hatred, and complicity. Today we acknowledge that looking away is not a passive act, but an act of betrayal.
And organizers say this event isn't just about remembering the past. It's about what we do with it and how we respond when hate shows up in our communities.
We know from the past that all it takes for evil to prevail is for good people to do nothing.
Jury selection is underway in a landmark U.S. trial involving several social media companies. The platforms are accused of deliberately addicting and harming teens. At the same time, France has introduced a law restricting social media access to the young. CTV's Abigail Beeman looks into enforcement and whether Canada plans to go the same route.
France's National Assembly votes in favor of a social media ban for children under 15. The president wants the ban in place by the next school year, posting, "Because our children's brains are not for sale." While in LA, a landmark series of trials begins with parents, teens, and school districts taking social media giants to court over addiction claims. Snapchat and TikTok reportedly settled in advance, leaving Meta, Facebook and Instagram's parent company, and YouTube.
We haven't landed on anything yet.
In Canada, the government is planning new online harm legislation after the last bill died with the Trudeau government, but no update on when or whether it will include a similar ban to France and Australia.
The objective of a new Online Harms Act would be to protect kids, first and foremost. And also there's a legitimate concern of the state protecting freedom of expression, and that is also key. So there's a balancing act.
It can be used as a very vicious tool to harass, bully, stalk, defame, hurt people.
Lawyer Ma'anit Zemel's office gets at least a call a day looking for help. She's calling for nuanced regulations that are enforceable and tailored to specific harms like cyberbullying or overuse, saying a full-out ban is not the answer.
The kids just get around it by using, whether it's VPNs or just saying they're older. And, from a legal perspective here, it might be challenged for all kinds of reasons.
CTV News reached out to Snapchat, TikTok, YouTube, and Meta. By deadline, only Meta responded, saying they'll comply with any regulations, but governments considering bans should be careful not to push teens towards unregulated, less safe sites. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
Still ahead, new loyalty rewards.
It's called Air Miles. It's got an airplane for its logo, but the brand has evolved over the years.
Changes and rebranding ahead for Air Miles. Checking today's market numbers, the Canadian dollar closed near 73 cents U.S. Oil was up $1.76, closing the day at $62.39 a barrel. Gold was up 1 cent on the day. The TSX ended the day up by 3 points. The Dow Jones down 408. More than 100 workers in Lacombe County could be out of a job with the closure of a federal agricultural research station. Agriculture and Agri-Food Canada announced it would close 3 research stations across the country, including one here in the province. While there are no imminent closures, the government says wind-down operations could take up to 12 months. Ariv with Lacombe County worries producers will be left with fewer trusted sources of information.
They have a 120-year history of data and trials, and it's just, it's inconceivable that data would be thrown away.
Lacombe County says it will lobby Ottawa to keep the research station open. Crime Stoppers has launched a campaign aimed at curbing illegal tobacco sales in Alberta. The Alberta Gaming, Liquor and Cannabis Commission says in the last 5 years it has seen a significant rise in contraband tobacco. It's led to a drop of more than $500 million in tobacco tax revenue. The Crime Stoppers campaign outlines the negative impacts of buying, selling and smoking illegal tobacco. RCMP say tips can come from anywhere.
It's usually about people knowing about people, and quite often it can be soured business partners out in the field, and they have their own reasons why they want to call in a tip or a report. It could be a competitor for their illicit trade and the things that they want to do.
The AGLC says it's also hoping to generate tips about businesses that may be selling illicit tobacco. Alberta's population could surpass British Columbia's in the next 25 years to become the 3rd largest province in the country. Under a medium growth range, Statistics Canada projects the Canadian population could top 57 million by 2075. The agency says higher growth provinces like Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba are likely to see their demographic weight in the country increase. Right now, the provinces with the highest populations are Ontario, Quebec, and BC. One of Canada's longest-running loyalty programs is getting a rebrand. Air Miles is now Blue Rewards. CTV's Pat Foran has more on the changes.
Air Miles has been in operation for more than 30 years, and this summer the familiar Air Miles logo with an airplane will be replaced with a new look and new name, Blue Rewards. BMO owns the loyalty program and says no action for clients is needed at this time, and any miles you have will hold their value.
If you got $100 worth of something you're saving up for a gift card, a vacuum, or travel,
you'll have $100 worth when we launch Blue Rewards in the summer.
BMO says it's adding new partners and new ways to earn, including the ability to earn points on groceries and food deliveries. Air Miles is a well-known brand, but loyalty card experts say it was time for an update.
It's called Air Miles. It's got an airplane for its logo, but the brand has evolved over the years, especially since BMO purchased them. They're more of a general rewards program.
BMO is also hoping more Canadians will make the switch to its bank to take advantage of additional perks connected with the program. Rewards Canada, which studies loyalty programs, says more Canadians are no longer saving years for dream vacations with points, but instead are cashing them in more often for low-value rewards.
These shopping rewards or these everyday rewards, kind of like Blue Rewards, where you can get value just for a little bit amount of points. You don't have to spend years collecting points. You can maybe, after a month, you might have enough points to get $20 off something.
Rewards Canada recently announced its top 5 rewards cards. Number 1, American Express, followed by Aeroplan, Scene, Avion Rewards, and Air Miles, now Blue Rewards. Loyalty programs want your business. Barry Choi says make sure you pick one that best suits your spending.
Is the card that you have in your wallet right now making sense for you as far as a loyalty perspective is concerned? If not, it might be worth switching where you can earn more points that you can actually use for whether it be merchandise, groceries, or travel.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
Coming up, growing food security.
What makes this program so wonderful is that it's really accessible.
Graduating green thumbs.
We've got another great night of entertainment coming up right here on CTV.
A new Norquest College program meant to help people deal with food insecurity is already at capacity. Eric Takash has more from the classroom turned hydroponic greenhouse.
This is the inside of a greenhouse run by Norquest College. For the week, it's home to dozens of students enrolled in a new program for people with or without a green thumb.
It is a 4-month program that's divided into both online learning and in-person practicum application. So this is the in-person part that you're observing today.
Tashia Cusance is one of the students enrolled in the new program. She started in November.
Majority of it was at home online, and now we're at the end part of it, so we're doing a week with hands-on training with the hydroponic systems.
Cusance got into growing plants during the COVID pandemic. Now she sells and grows rare plants out of her own home.
When I seen this program, I really was excited about it because I could learn more hands-on experience with hydroponics, growing fresh food, and just really getting that hands-on experience.
Hands-on experience that 70 students are receiving, putting the program at full capacity.
What makes this program so wonderful is that it's really accessible. There is no need for any prerequisites for you to get into the program. It is short-term, so it appeals to a lot of people.
During the 4-month program, students learn about plant care, greenhouse technology, and business decision-making, a skill hundreds of more people will be able to have thanks to Norquest College. Merrick Takash, CTV News, Edmonton.
Nice and warm today, but gardening season is ways off yet.
Yeah, unless you got a greenhouse.
A hydroponic greenhouse.
Hydroponics, absolutely. There is some warmer air that's going to come spreading its way in, though, and you can see by Saturday, look at that green zone take over the entire province. Here's what that means in temperatures. 5 degrees by Saturday. Tomorrow, minus 10 in the morning, about minus 2 for a daytime high in the afternoon. That's still about 3 degrees warmer than average, though. Not a lot of sunshine tomorrow, but the wind should be fairly light, fairly pleasant winter day. In fact, there's a lot of people that may prefer that to what's coming later this week, through the weekend, and all of next week. It is going to get awfully sloppy once again, especially through the afternoons. Freeze thaw back in effect.
All right. Thanks, Josh. And thanks for sharing your time with us. Have a great evening, everyone.